Okay.
All right, Hussey, take it away.
Week number 9 for us. Match day 16? 16.
There you go.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Podcast FC show. How's everyone doing out there? Everyone good? Lots of action this weekend, huh?
Great weekend of footy. What's up? What's going on, everyone? I thought this weekend was just amazing. Arsenal leading the top of the charts right now, so I'm flying high.
Dude, they did very well, but we'll get into that. But before we get into that, let's kick off with City Swansea. City managing to get a late goal to save 3 points. 2-1 City it ends. What do you guys think of the game, dude?
And maybe we can go from back to forward with this. I just think they were so lucky.
Yeah, I agree. I think the moral of the story is that City's in a place where they have good players, but they have key injuries in the sense of Vincent Kompany, and it looks like all season they just haven't been the same without him, dude. And somehow they find a way to get 3 points. You know, that's a sign of a champion. You play awful, you play weak, you don't have your players, but you somehow still get lucky and get all 3 points.
For me, Yaya Toure. He actually seemed like he wanted to play today.
Yeah.
On Saturday. He actually started running. It was fantastic. He looks like he runs like an 88-year-old.
Yeah.
He always has like a
covers so
limp.
much room. Yeah, dude, he walks with a limp. He runs with a. He looks like he's in pain all the time. He looks like his body's just sore all the time.
Well, think about it. He's a big guy, and how long has he been playing for?
Yeah, probably since he was 8, 9 years old.
How many miles are on those legs? And sometimes we don't think about that about these athletes.
Yeah.
A lot of injuries, a lot of tackles, but he is a relatively big guy, has a lot of weight to move around.
Yeah, and he gets bigger and bigger every year. He gets bigger and bigger every year. But he doesn't slow down, but he just every year I'm like, was Yaya big that big last season? Like, yeah. It's weird. He's like aging in front of us.
He's only 32, but African age, so he could be like 46.
Freddie Adu action.
Oh yeah,
birth certificate.
You're 32. Okay, bud.
He needs a cane out there.
You have 8 grandchildren.
But yet somehow he still manages to find a way to just pull it out and get that lucky deflection. Again, it was luck.
Okay, that was. Like I told you guys before, that was bad defense for Swansea. It was 23. Did we ever find out who that was?
No, was it? Did we say it was Williams? It could have been Williams.
No, it wasn't.
Fernandez, I believe.
Fernandez. That was horrible defense because when Yaya comes up, look, we were just talking about how he walks with a limp and runs. He runs box to box, but it's smooth. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not fast. He's not quick. He's doing moves. He's not going to dribble by you. Contain him. And then 23 comes in and blocks his own defender.
Yeah.
Gives Yaya room, shoots it, deflection, goes in. All you have to do, this man to your left, defend with him.
Yeah,
Teamwork.
squeeze him. Yeah,
Yes.
squeeze him
He's
into
not
the
going
trap.
anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And
There's no need to commit.
Swansea lost that. Man City didn't win that.
I agree.
That's what happens though when the pressure gets put up on you. But at the same time, you have to give City some sort of credit for pushing forward and putting that pressure on Swansea. There were critical mental errors that were made in defense. And again, the Swansea defense just seems to let them down continuously. It seems like week in, week out, they're not able to hold a clean sheet.
Dude, what's going on with Swansea, man? Like, Ashley Williams was, like, among the players in England. Like, they tout him as, you know, not legendary defender, but, like, as one of the great defenders. You know, Rio Ferdinand has nothing bad to say about him. John Terry has nothing bad to say. Like, they all think he's a stud. It's just he's unfortunate in that he's come around in a time where they have plenty of, like, 6'2", 6'3" sized center backs. So, like, there's really no need to play an Ashley Williams, especially at his size. So, but either way, that being said, like, he's been a stud for Swansea, dude. Since Swansea has been promoted, he's been there. He's their captain. He's their fearless leader. He's always managed to bail them out, you know. And maybe for me, it becomes a question of, is he just tired, you know, the year after year of, like, he's never been next to, like, a premier center back who can help him out. He's always the leader, and he's always the one bailing him out. When the other center back makes a mistake, he's cleaning out. So it's like, I hear you, man.
It's
like,
tough.
Swansea's not known for leaking goals.
And as a defender, naturally, you will get exposed at some point.
Yes,
you will
agreed.
make a mistake that will lead to a goal. You will get beat on a one-on-one by a skillful player. It's just the nature of the position.
Yeah.
But when you look at how they conceded that first goal, to Wilfred Bonny,
Your boy Bonnie.
Yeah, and
He keeps
stepped
scoring
up.
against them. He
I'm
keeps
telling
scoring
you.
against Swansea.
His old team because
Yeah.
he has the motivation and he really wanted to score. But like you're saying, Ashley Williams lost him on that corner kick. He just sort of faked right and went left.
Yeah.
And
Ashley Williams turned off. He switched off.
yeah,
That was weird.
didn't stick him. And Bonnie managed to get a nice headed goal from a corner kick from Jesus Navas, who I thought looked better on the day as well. But I really think that the key is both defenses. Swansea's leaky defense and City's leaky defense. Like you were saying, Company not being in the lineup is a major issue.
What a I don't know, what a war cry for Company, you know, like next contract negotiation, he can basically ask for whatever he wants. You know, like he's on the bench, not on the bench, he's on the injured list, and City can't keep a clean sheet no matter what. Like you said today, they got lucky. That should have been a 1-1 game.
Yeah.
And Mangala, every week, man, I'm starting to see more and more mental errors from Mangala. He has the physical ability to recover, and most of the time he manages to recover, but you can't do that every week in the EPL. You're just going to get exposed. He's just losing it.
It's bad. The defense is just bad.
Yeah.
They also brought other people in. Di Michaelis is just old.
Yeah.
And there's no chemistry. There's no talking. They're not working together as a unit.
Yeah.
I know you said it before. I think that was you that said it before. Would you rather have Guerrero or Company?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Which one would you have real quick?
I would have Company.
Yeah.
What's your answer, Tom? I remember your answer last time was Aguero. What are you thinking now? Because Bonnie, Go ahead.
Aguero.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it has to be Aguero too. I think to find a top 3 striker is harder than to find a top 3 defender.
That's a great point.
So
Like
that's
Olsen did the job today,
You're right.
pretty much. Olsen was a savage for West Brom, just to use a quick example. You know what I mean? Like although they did concede, but a defender, you get a big physical guy who's mentally strong, you have a greater chance. Like Huss was saying.
Would you rather have Olsen or Mangala?
I'll still take Mangala because he has more upside. But
But look at that hair.
You gotta respect it.
dude, that
The
hair
flow.
drives my girlfriend crazy. We were watching the game today, just to jump around real quick. But we're watching the game today. It's just like, do we really have to watch that guy? I hate that guy. Like, I hate that guy's hair. It was so funny. But anyway, back to the game. So
aloof, man.
and he's always brushing it. He's always like fixing it and stuff. It's like, dude, just focus on defending. Leave your hair alone. But yeah, so
With the headband.
it's ridiculous. But yeah, Mangala gets beat, man. Like Otamendi, I feel like he's in a tough position because it's a new club. I feel like he's not sure whether to be assertive and take the defense. Like I'm sure language is a barrier too. So it's like if it was Otamendi and Company, no one scores in that defense because Otamendi's athletic enough. So is Company, but Company can be more of like a sweeper style, and Otamendi can be the bulldog, sort of the stopper who goes out and wins the ball. So it's unfortunate for Otamendi that like it's looking like the purchase of him wasn't a bad one, but it didn't have as much upside as they thought for now, at least.
I think they will. I
Definitely.
think he'll pan out. It's one of those things that you say, the language. People forget that there's so many different languages in that area, and they come and go, and it's just no one, as much as they may know of the language, they don't know how to speak it fluently, and that's tough,
man.
I couldn't imagine going to play in a
Poland.
country.
Imagine going to Poland
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Just random country, just to pick it out of the thin air. Poland. Go ahead, Russ. Go
It's
play
cold.
soccer.
I don't know anyone. I don't know any. Can I eat that food?
You can't read street signs?
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where it just takes so much out of you mentally and just so much energy just to figure out what you want to eat the next day.
Agreed.
Just because you don't know what anything is.
And here's the thing: the best teams, they gel around that. They find a way to come together and thrive. They find a way to speak an on-field language, whether it's code words. And yes, the barriers may be more difficult because you can't necessarily explain what you want, but you develop this commonality and understanding of first your play, and then the language on the field. But then other things like all these holiday parties they have and all the wags and everything like that getting together. So all these little things really can bring a team together, or they can tear them apart.
That's true. I know that some teams will actually have the new players stay with certain players, maybe like an assistant captain or something. I think that's really cool because as much as you want to say, oh, they're my teammate, you will play harder for a teammate that's your friend. And we all know that. Exactly. So if you're a friend and you're actually hanging out, if you're, playing cards or going bowling or doing something just together, that chemistry will just build just because you just see body language. Yeah.
The patience translates on the field because oftentimes when teammates miss a pass, some people can become frustrated with you, and that really can be detrimental to the team.
Yeah, I think that's, to pull an example, I think that's a big reason why United last year was able to finish fourth. Because a Spanish contingent, they had De Gea, they had Rojo, he's not Spanish, but he speaks Spanish. They had Rafael, they had Mata, and they had Ander Herrera and Di Maria. That group of 5 core players who all got a lot of playing time last year, they carried us. You can say, they carried United to that 4th place finish line. So I agree with you guys. It's. I hope they have someone for Otamendi, and I'm sure David Silva probably has him under his wing, Jesus Navas, because all 3 of them are Spanish. So, well, not Spanish, but all 3 of them speak Spanish. So I think
it was good to see.
And Aguero's there as well, and Go ahead.
No, it was good to see David Silva come back.
Yeah.
I thought the wingers, like you're saying, they made him look better. Navas and Sterling were kind of more live.
Dude, imagine. I think they rested De Bruyne today.
They did.
Yeah, just giving him a rest. Navas got the job done today. But imagine David Silva with De Bruyne on the field and Sterling on the other side and Aguero. Like that's the craziest front 4 I've ever heard of. Like
the Champions League squad.
Not craziest. I mean, craziest in the EPL right now.
Yeah, I was going to say because there's also Barcelona that is the best we've seen.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. Barcelona just a sidestep like Messi, Neymar, and Suarez. Like, what do you do? What do you do? Any one of them can beat you 1-on-1. They can beat you 2-on-1. Like,
see, my thing is, okay, you say that, but then right behind them, you have Andres Iniesta.
The magician. Pulls the strings.
There's no one else. There's no one better you could choose from in the world.
That front line has 3 of the top 4 offensive players in the world.
Agreed. That's it. They were saying next year they want Neymar in the Ballon d'Or, so it's going to be probably Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, and there are people petitioning for Suarez to be in there too. So it's like of the 4 or 5 like top politics, 5 players in the world,
hating on Suarez, it's just politics,
right? He's a head case, but like he's good. Like as a soccer player, he's unbelievable, and he should be in there. But anyway, we digress.
Before we wrap up this game, I just want to just inform it was Jack Cork, that was actually defending Yaya Toure, and then Sigurdsson was the one. He was 23 that actually just cut him off and just gave Yaya room. I just want to throw some names out there.
Sigurdsson calling you out.
2-1, yeah. For
2-1. So, man of the match, Tom. Who's yours?
I mean, I'm going to have to give it to that boy, Yaya, man. Yaya stepped up. He was the driving engine in that midfield. I think David Silva had a relatively quiet game. He did open up space for others. I feel like he was playing more as a dummy runner. He got onto the ball, had possession, and was moving it, but didn't have quite the impact I think he really wanted to have.
It was his first game back, so like he had enough impact for like a first game or first start.
But within that, Yaya was able to step up.
Exactly.
And that's vital to Man City.
Yeah. For me, I'm the same. Yaya, for once, like he took a nap the last couple of games, but today he showed like when he's on, he's really unstoppable, and he's capable over and over and over of getting that goal that Man City needs. So Yaya Toure gets it done today.
I'm also Yaya. One thing I liked about him was, I don't know if you remember when Juventus played Man City, there was one highlight that they showed Pogba going from box to box, and he just dribbled just ever so slightly through everyone. I think it actually led to a goal. Yaya did the same thing, minus the leading to the goal, where he just ever so slightly just ran by
gentle runs.
It's not so much he was running really fast, he was just going. I don't know how he wasn't stopped. He just goes. I don't know.
But he's got so much power too that he's not going to get knocked off balance.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. But there wasn't anyone really pushing him. There was a couple times I saw him he's just dribbling.
Just no one defended, man.
And he found the gaps and ran through them. Found another gap and ran through that. And then passed it off. And then that's the biggest thing about Yaya that I really liked to see him do, was that he was actually running.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds crazy to say, but like You see Yaya not take those long runs, for like 3 or 4 games, and then all of a sudden he shows up and does those long, like lazy but like penetrating runs.
I just can't get over his face. Where he looks so tired all the time.
Dude, he looks exhausted. He limps around like.
I feel like to make a piece of toast, he just like looking at those lists. The picture I sent you is like.
Hungry Yaya.
I forgot butter. It's like that should get toast. Like, by the end of his contract, he's gonna be living in assisted living.
Too funny, man. Too funny. So, next game we'll get into. I really don't want to get into it, but I guess we have to. Bournemouth versus Man United. Bournemouth wins 2-1 at home.
Oh yeah.
My God, man. I don't even know where to start, man. You guys take it away. I'm frustrated.
Couple old ex-Man United players coming back for you in this one.
Yeah, Josh King gets the winner. Josh King. And I'm happy for him, man. Like, he was released from United, and I think he was at Blackburn, and Bournemouth bought him from Blackburn. So, and he got the winner today against his old club. But good for him, man.
Right from the beginning, though, you could tell by just the stadium, the atmosphere in that stadium. I think the manager, the confidence he's instilled in these players coming from last week, and tying it that thriller game with Everton, the 3-3 thriller game with Everton.
Or even they beat Chelsea. Last week they beat Chelsea.
All of that momentum carried over into this game, and I think you could tell from the start when Stanislas scored off of a corner kick, in which De Gea was in a terrible position. Quite often we don't hear ourselves saying this, but the wind helped him for sure. But Stanislas, that was high school soccer type stuff that you see sometimes.
For me, the issue is, yes, it was De Gea's fault. Basically, it was De Gea's fault, but I think the issue is that they didn't put a body on. I didn't see who it was, but there was a Bournemouth player basically setting a pick for De Gea. So what happened was, as Stanislas kicked the ball, De Gea is trying to push the offensive play out of his way so he can jump and catch the ball. The problem is, instead of watching the ball and just moving around, he's focused on pushing the player. And then by the time he looks up and tries to react, it's too late. So if Man United puts a body on that guy, De Gea is not worried about pushing that guy off because there's a defender to push him off. So it's still De Gea's fault. No doubt, De Gea should have focused on the ball.
As a goalkeeper, it's your box. You should command that. If you want a guy in front of there, straight up, it's De Gea's fault. Yeah. It doesn't happen often. No excuses. Because if you're a world-class goalie and there's a defender bothering you, you will snag a guy off your post to tell someone else to get tighter to him.
Yeah.
So you can deal with it. It was just a soft goal.
It was, and it sort of set the tone for the game too. But in a way, it was interesting because I was not happy they scored first. Bournemouth scored first. But it was interesting to see United actually be forced to come out of their shell very early in the game. United likes to sort of, the way Van Gaal has them playing, they like to lull their opponents to sleep, essentially, the way we play. The pace is slow.
I think they lull the whole world to sleep.
Thank you, dude. It's miserable. So when Bournemouth scored that goal, I think they all realized, okay, we actually have to play. They were playing well, sort of. Not like a true United team, but they were attacking. They were, trying to play through balls.
But the pace of the counterattack of Bournemouth was just vicious.
That's the problem with the way we play that system, is that it's overly patient. And when the other team wins the ball, you've had the ball so long, you sort of lost your defensive orientation. So there are a lot of gaps that pop up, and Bournemouth was playing a counterattack system because they knew United was a possession patient team. And just like that, you saw over and over there were just counterattacks where you're just like, Bournemouth looks like old United, because that's how United would play back in the day.
Yeah.
For that corner, Stanislas, did he get the assist on that?
It was his goal.
No, I know that. Did the wind get the goal? It was almost like angels in the outfield, where
it was meant to be. Because you know what? I think there was a player on his team, Arta, I believe his name was, and something tragic happened with his family. I think his wife may have had a miscarriage.
There was a lot
dark
of
like that. So they were wearing black bands around their arms. So sorry about that, man. That's terrible to hear. But the way that they were able to come out like that and just score from the beginning, as soon as he scores, he rips that off and he runs over to his teammate, and it's such a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I mean, Arthur, showing some Harta. He was, no, he was that was so bad.
Oh, the corniest joke.
I just was like,
no, that was funny though. That was funny.
No, he played well. He got injured and kept on trying to play. He got injured and then he finally had to come off. And when it came down to it, I mean, there was a good set play. We were talking about that earlier, where I really like seeing teams actually having plays on the set plays.
Yeah,
you're at practice.
Yeah.
Why not practice set plays with actual plays? I liked how someone ran around, threw a pick, and just had King wide open.
Yeah.
That's what you should do.
And you know what? You know what's funny? United did the same thing where Blind was the one. So they had a set play, and it was almost like in the corner department or corner position, like that area in the corner of the field. And they had a set play where they set a bunch of picks, and Blind was open at the top of the 18. Mm-hmm. And the one on Saturday where Josh King scored, they set a pick on Blind. So it was like Blind just turned off. Like, teams have set plays. Your own team does set plays like that, like tricky set plays. Why would you turn off?
It's tough because sometimes people do mark in zone. I'm not sure, like, if it's a tight man marking type situation.
That situation was man. That was man. A man situation. United, for the most part, man marks. They're not a zonal team.
He just man, it's
just switched
again,
off.
it's a soft goal. It's
Very
one
soft.
of those soft goals where, and we're seeing this a lot more, I think, this year. Is it me, or are we seeing a lot of set piece goals? Even Arsenal, I feel like, have gotten better at set pieces, but defensively conceding. Chris Brunt, I'm sorry, this is a different game. But there are other people, just free kick specialists, I think, now we're seeing who have quality delivery.
Yeah, and even like when we say set plays, obviously like on a corner they'll have like set plays where two guys are near post, yada yada. When we say set plays, we're sort of more talking about the tricky ones where like you're rolling a ball, like playing it on the ground like 30 yards. That's a long way, especially if you're in the opponent's final third. That's a long way to get the ball to someone on the ground. In the air, it's easy to kick a ball 30, 40 yards into the opponent's box, but these guys are like passing it on the ground to the top of the 18. Like, it's impressive stuff.
It really is. But I feel like by having plays, you can actually involve everyone on the team. If you don't have the play, then there's so much emphasis on the tall players.
Yeah,
and a team might, it worked for West Brom today, but I'm saying some teams, they may have one, maybe two tall guys that it's just like so much pressure puts on them. They just have someone move around, pass it here, pass it there, and then they will open. Use your brain.
Exactly.
You're not good.
Yeah.
When the free kicks, you see people take free kicks 35 yards out. There's 3 people in the world that might be able to do that,
and they just lump it in there.
Yeah, why is everyone doing that? I understand. If you get on net, there might be a rebound if the goalie doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you do a play and then work something in? And maybe you can take a shot from 22 yards out.
Yeah.
It just
gotta be creative.
Think about when you coach the kids. It's just you tell people work on high percentage passes, and then we're just throwing it into a box and just. It's a 50-50.
Yeah, we'll just try your luck. Roll the dice.
Why is it always that?
Yeah.
Why not try to make it a 60-40 or a 70-30? You never know. So try just improving the chances. That's it. It was a really, really good goal. But for me, Bournemouth, the goalie, Bora.
Yeah.
He had a game.
He had a great game.
He's been a lot.
Dude, he bailed him out last week at Chelsea. Had a lot of saves. He bailed him out this week with United.
Had this special double save this week
early in the game. Yeah.
Even on Fellaini's goal, he made the initial save.
Yeah.
With the left foot, and that was fantastic. And then Fellaini comes in, which as much as people give grief to Fellaini, he's showing some heart. He's really working. That's why I like. He's literally running on his knees to win games.
Exactly.
And
dude.
it just
you saw he tried to swing at it with his left foot, but he was on his knees, so he had to go with his right.
Dude,
almost
he
pulled a groin.
literally crawled his way into that goal, dude. It was impressive.
But
Fellaini
that's
killed
suspect defense.
Yeah.
Two center backs. I don't know if it's center backs, but 2 defenders were on the line.
Yeah.
And one guy saw Fellaini coming on his knees, and it was just like
no one bailed the goalie out.
Why don't you just go and just put your foot in front of the ball? You might not be able to kick it out. Just try to slow him down, or just be in front.
Just throw your body in front of it, like something, dude. You're right. They just stood there and waited for it.
Because everyone likes sliding in the box. I'm not a fan of that, but it could have been stopped. That could have been a 2-0 game. Well, theoretically, if Bark didn't have maybe the best game of the season for himself, this could have been maybe like a 5-2 game.
Yeah.
United.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a good game. And again, Josh King ended up getting the winner. I don't know, but to go back to a further point that I wanted to make, the starting back line for Man United, Cameron Borthwick Jackson, who was getting his debut as a left back?
Yeah, they moved him around a little bit. I think he was playing left back today.
Paddy McNair and Guillermo Varela, as well as Chris Smalling in there to start. So
no Smalling.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, who was the other?
Paddy McNair and Daley Blind.
Blind. Sorry about that. Yeah. So just a very inexperienced back line,
and that's something I wanted to address. Like, I'm frustrated with Louis van Gaal, and I was listening to some of the post-match analysis, and one of the guys was saying basically that, you know, United has an injury crisis on their hands, and that now is not the time to pile on to Louis van Gaal, and that United is fourth, and, you know, things aren't that bad. And I disagree with him. When you look at it logically, he makes sense. You know, things aren't that bad. United are fourth. We're still struggling, but we're in fourth, dude, with all these troubles we're having and injuries. But my problem is that I don't see this system coming together, and I don't see it being a good, potent system. Imagine United tries to play the system against a Barcelona, against an Arsenal even, or against Chelsea. You could probably get away with it because those are two passive teams, or Liverpool. I'm afraid to play Liverpool, man. The way they looking,
they
like
steamroll dudes.
They would steamroll United, you know. So it's like that's what the frustration is with the people, is that it's not the fact that we're not patient or unhappy about the position we're in, which we are, but it's more we don't see the system coming together, and we don't see it being effective.
But here's the thing. Here's just a raw stat, and, you know, take it or leave it. Coming into the weekend, these were the top 5 teams with the best goal with the least goals against.
Conceded.
Yeah, conceded. So first was Manchester United, right off the bat. They had 10. Spurs, Tottenham Hotspurs were second with 12. Arsenal with 13. Stoke with 14, Crystal Palace with 15. And so because of that, you're able to see Man United. Maybe you may not agree with the system, but they do have a solid defense in terms of conceding goals. Part of that is the goalkeeper, but again, it's boring soccer. It's not positive as well.
The thing is, that stat would be impressive if they had an offense to match. You know, like at United,
on paper they do.
But I mean, like, statistically, they don't. So on paper, if you look at the players, they do. But if you look at the stats, they don't.
No.
Like, then we're not getting shots. We're not getting possession in the final third. We have possession sort of in the middle of the field the whole game. It's frustrating.
Well, again, it's United. You expect them to have some of the best talent in the world.
Yeah.
Take out De Gea and Rooney. Does United have a top 50 best player in the world?
Top 50?
Maybe
Mata?
Maybe Mata.
I could say Mata.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a maybe, though.
I'd say Mata.
It's a solid. He's probably in the 30s, 40s, but Mata's in there.
What I'm saying is, think about United teams from the past. They
Yeah.
would have maybe a couple in the top 10 or maybe a couple in the top 20. You know,
Yeah.
they'd always have legitimate talent always coming through. And now it's like, okay, well, Southampton matches up nice against them.
Exactly.
They're falling down the ranks talent-wise.
Yeah.
And they're getting the results, but when United, I know you're going through a transition point, but when did the philosophy of United say, hey, at least we're in fourth?
Exactly.
You know what it is? I don't think that applies as much. I think to some degree what you said certainly applies, but I think it has to come down to the choices you make in the transfer window. Because you were able to lure a Bastian Schweinsteiger, who's honestly, he's a German legend.
Yeah.
He's a German legend. When did we ever think Bastian was going to leave Bayern Munich?
Yeah, I thought he was going to die at Bayern.
Everyone did. So for him to come to Man United means you still have the clout with the top, with the best players, and maybe there was a link there with the coach. But regardless, I think he didn't make the right choices. You bring in Angel Di Maria, who is a top 20 talent in the world,
even top 10.
maybe even top 10. Don't like him in your system, so what do you do with them? You throw him out.
And that is
that
the
was
greatest,
a lot of money wasted.
And that is the greatest point outside of money. When you look at players, you're trying to attract players. Where would the top talent right now rather go, you think? Like, in general, would they rather go to a project like Liverpool or a project like United?
Well, right now Liverpool because the spirit,
dude. And how long has Klopp been there?
It's just
like
a month?
No, but that's my point. Like you're building on my point is that Van Gaal has been there a year and a half, and there's no energy, there's no spirit, there's no
that charisma,
inspiration,
that it factor because he's a boss. Not even a boss. He's
a CEO. He's very proper and cordial, a little standoffish. I feel like he's too high. Whereas
he's like a general, man. Like it's his way or the highway. There's no back and forth sort of communication. I feel like that happens with every player. Maybe with the captains, but not with every player.
And there's no like inspiration. You know, like I sent you guys a whole bunch of like memes this weekend. Like you see him coaching, and we'll throw this up on all our social media at Podcast FC Show all over the place. But you see him sort of like coaching. They were showing pictures of him coaching the Netherlands in the 2014 World Cup, and he's standing there with his tie and his notebook, which is fine, but he's standing on the sidelines yelling instructions, calling plays over, whispering instructions in their ears. You see him at United. I have yet to see him one time this season stand up and give an instruction, and for me that just shows
the lack of passion?
A lack of passion. I was going to say a lack of caring. That's the wrong word. Passion is the perfect word. It shows a lack of passion because obviously he cares. He's a professional.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be on this stage if he didn't care. So that's not what I'm questioning. But the passion, dude. Where's the fire? Look at Klopp today. We'll get into the game. But, they tied today, a game they probably should have won. But he's over there like celebrating with the fans and hugging his players. Van Gaal, if he was doing that right now, I'd be a very patient guy. I'd be like, I believe in this guy, but he's not doing that, man.
Well, I have to say that he would never celebrate like Klopp did today.
Agreed.
He would celebrate to a point. But in my mind, when it comes down to Van Gaal, let's just say the team's out at a pub or something and someone pushes a player. Van Gaal, what? Does he say anything? Does he walk away? I think Klopp goes and actually settles it. Maybe even hits the guy. Klopp has his team's back. That's the difference between Van Gaal and Klopp.
Yeah,
and
that's a good point.
Van Gaal, he looks tired. He's like the manager version of Yaya Toure.
No, and that's a great point because they said, like, win or lose, whatever happens, he's retiring in 2017. Like, not from the United position, but retiring from football. So that's a great point that maybe he is tired.
And so then is this just a project of kind of maintenance? Like, all right, let me kind of get an infrastructure here, get this set up for Pep Guardiola.
But the problem is Pep Guardiola is going to come in and rip this foundation to shreds. Like, because it's not a good system.
Because what he is doing and what you have to give him credit for is influencing a lot of the youth. And although they may have rough games, they may not be playing as well. Maybe 2-3 years you look down the line and both with Jackson is a baller.
Dude, that's the bright spot of this whole period of injuries and stuff is that you're starting to see youth players coming through and they're getting chances. Look at Lingard this year. What a great success story he is.
That's what I'm saying.
So, like, for that, I won't. Martial, exactly. You pay 60 mil for a 19, 20-year-old player. Like, that's crazy.
And it's a
risk.
But
it's working. So, for that, I'll give him credit, no doubt.
Minus the history of the club.
Yep.
Why does Pep want to come here?
History of the club.
Yeah,
Project.
Does
Project
he come here,
history of the club.
Does he? Does he go from Manchester United or goes across the road to City?
They were saying that today is that like they feel or they're speculating that City's like more ahead in the negotiations, but Man United's trying to catch up. But
Champions League, that's what it comes down to.
Imagine
right now you're in Europa. I don't see Pep managing a Europa team.
Yeah, if we don't finish fourth.
Depends on when the deal and the timing, obviously, because if it's within this year, then there's a greater chance. But maybe if you have another 2 years and you qualify the following year, then your chances go up.
I think Pep's contract is up this summer. So, like, he has to either recommit to Bayern for another 3 years or leave. So, if he's going to leave, now's the perfect time. I think if United doesn't finish top 4, he goes to City. Why not? What a project that is for City. A club that doesn't have a lot of history, so he can create something. Whereas he was at Barca that has a lot of history, and then he went to Bayern. So this is his pet project.
And this is when we're gonna see what type of manager he is.
Definitely.
Will he want to go with the club with the tradition, or will he just want to go with unlimited funds? Let me try to construct. Let me be Michelangelo, basically.
Yeah. Is this done deal though that he's leaving Bayern? Bayern.
Yeah, I think yes.
Life is made.
I think yes because he wants to come to the Prem. I feel like he feels like he's on an island. Like, yes, Bayern, he's doing well. He's won trophies. The thing is, he's achieved like almost everything he can achieve with Bayern. Like, what more?
Champions League.
And I think he'll do it this year. I think this is the year he's making a run. He padded that squad. He strengthened that squad, bringing in Alexis Sanchez. Like, I think this is the year where they have a run. And I don't know, except for Barcelona, I don't see Madrid being able to put together a game to beat him. But obviously, we'll get into that later this week, guys. We're going to do a UEFA Champions League special this week, sort of discussing the round of 16 games. The draw's tomorrow. Well, you're probably listening to this on a Monday, but the draw's on Monday, December 14th. So
can't wait.
It's going to be amazing. But either way, I forget my point now. So
I could see
great, guys.
I could see Pep staying for 3 years.
Again at Bayern?
Yes, and then leaving after that, just so he does get all the credentials. He's at maybe the best team in the world. Maybe top 2. Well, it's
top 3. Put it that way. Top 3.
Why leave that right now when you're still searching for a Champions League?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Get a couple under your belt,
point, guys.
Then leave. Or then after that, then go to your project. People say you have to make money, then you can do what you love.
Yeah.
Something like that, where make the trophies come in with Bayern, and then do your pet project at another club.
I think Man City is too impatient to let him do that. And if it's not United, I think it'll be Man City this summer, because Pellegrini has done well for that club, but you can tell now the only thing holding City back is the manager, because they have all the pieces, dude. They have the players. They have Iheanacho coming through, so a young forward who's looking promising. They have a Bonnie who can cover for a great, like, they have Fernandinho, Fernando. Like, this team is stacked. They have.
And I feel so bad for Pellegrini, because he's done a wonderful job. He's made history.
But with this team, Pellegrini should be borderline undefeated, put it that way. And I think that's
what
the
it is
difference.
To me is it's Champions League. I don't think it's so much the league. I think even if City were in second or third in the league, we'd be disappointed. But I think the reason why we mentioned Pep Guardiola, the reason why we mention these coaches is because we know when it comes to the Champions League, playing the best of the best, he's going to raise the team's level. And so with a team like City with unlimited funds, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got a little sidetracked, but Bournemouth gets it done, man. The spirit they showed, the fight they showed today, it was sad for me to watch my team get beaten down like that. Like, United they were just mute the whole game. You know, they showed, some promises, some flash, but like you could tell, and there was no belief, there was no passion, there was no we deserve to be leading this game. It was more like, no, we're good, so we should be leading. It wasn't like get mad, get fired up. There's no leader. There's no leader.
Smile on my face as I was watching this game. I was just grinning the whole time, loving it.
One thing I really liked was they have for stats 50 tackles, 27 for Bournemouth, 23 for United. That seems like a high. What's the average you would think would be like 18 per team or something?
No. Yeah, maybe around that.
I just feel like 50 tackles between the two of them that's a lot. That's hard play. That's a lot of running.
Getting stuck in, man.
That's plain dirty. I like that.
Yeah, it was a Bournemouth came out to play, but man of the matches, I'll kick it off. For me, man of the match, it's got to go to Josh King. They don't have their starter. What's that? Caleb Wilson, right? He's been hurt for a while. He's their hero, and somehow Josh King
did a good job.
Yeah, he did a good job. Scored against his old club. Like, that was a set play that was made for him, and he executed. What more can you do?
For me, man of the match, King's nice. I disagree with that. Even the one that came in for King, Glenn Murray, really good effort. For me, though, Barak has to be the goalie. He made saves that he's going to be dreaming about when he's 60, saying, "Oh yeah, I was good."
That's a good point. For me, it was Stanislas, man. I think just the way he inspired the team from the beginning. His pace is a constant threat for them, so people have to really respect him down that flank. I'm sure, the goalie kept him in the game, honestly. Yeah, he had a really great game, but just for me, how he continues to score for them. For me, it's almost like a thing where he's now beginning to step up week in, week out.
I would say the heart at the beginning of the game and through the entire actually go to Arthur. The honorable mention to him. He played. He didn't even play with his feet or his head. He played fully heart.
Yeah, definitely. So next game, Crystal Palace versus Southampton. This is sort of like the battle of the like the cusp teams. They're sort of good. They're very good. They're very exciting. Yeah, bubble teams there, but they're not quite over that hill.
This was the battle of Bolasie and Mane. That's what this was.
It definitely was, and I think Bolasie got the better of Mane this week, despite the result. The Bolasie dude. I'm lost for words, dude. Like, honestly, at the start of the season, I knew Bolasie was a beast. He had a great season the year before, but I always saw him as a little out of control, a little too raw, like, which is good. It wasn't a bad thing. I was just like, this player just needs more time to develop. Final product. Yeah, that final product. Dude, that volley he tried to do, like, off the corner, like, flicks off a defender's head. He doesn't let it bounce. He just takes the shot on, and that's when the commentator was like, this guy's talented. Like, he's going somewhere next year. And I was like, dude, I 100% agree. Bolasie is a beast.
Fast, strong. He's getting skill. By the way, I'm rewatching the highlights right now because there was something in the 19th minute Bolasie shot that I can't not stop thinking. It was just the curve that it had. I know there was wind.
This technique is ridiculous. I'm telling you.
But it was pushing, but at the same time, if you see the ball, the two ends of the orange and the middle is yellow, and you just see the spin on the ball, and it's just perfectly two orange ends and one yellow just going nuts. It just round and round. I swear to God, it is the most spin on a ball I think I've seen.
And to me, he just keeps getting better. He keeps getting better. He's proving how he can play at the center forward position. A lot of the times he's deployed out wide, where he's still a menace from. But Mane, I thought, didn't have the game he wanted to. He's still a very talented player, and you could tell that they were trying to feed him. But I thought Palace, being one of those teams that were in the top 5 of least goals conceded, did a pretty good job of locking the main guy down in Mane and stifling him whenever he did get the ball.
Yeah. Here's something for you, United. At the beginning of the season when you said, Mane is going to be looked at by United and he's going to come over, do you take Bolasie over Mane?
All day.
Yeah.
All day. I mean, look, not too far behind. Mane's not too far behind, but Bolasie is on some other shiz right now. He's not unbelievable, but like he's having a meteoric rise machine right now. You're just seeing this guy become a butterfly. He was this caterpillar, now he's evolving, dude. It's amazing. I love it.
I didn't know that he was 26 though. He's a late bloomer, but hey, if
he's in his prime,
this is it. He's hitting his stride. For the next 4 or 5 seasons, he's gonna be the hottest he'll ever be.
Yeah,
and when you have Zaha playing opposite him, the way he's playing, so skillful, so composed, really doing the dirty work as well now, starting to track back on defense, and really finding a way to impact the game. I think that's been the most lacking thing in his game, was the final product, and we saw he did have some big moments in this game where he actually could have scored a goal, managed to blow one over the goal, and I'm sure Crystal Palace fans were fretting at that moment, but overall, when you have those two attacking players, man, and follow with Jason punching and just the speed they have, along with the solid defense, you're gonna be a good team.
Again, I talk about Kabaya. He might be, in my mind, the signing of the season, just because he's exactly what a team like Crystal Palace is missing, or was missing rather, and he just brings it all together. He's the glue that holds all those really athletic people together. He can, he has the skill to the volley on the right side. Did he hit that with his left foot? I forget what foot he hit it with, but the volley was unbelievable. And not only that, but his goal, just slipping through the cracks and getting in front of the net.
Yes. And Bolasie did well to break down that flank and cut it back to him, but he was waiting there. He was that attacking midfielder who's willing to push on and get goals.
He's almost like the big brother that has the brains for this team. And I love that he came back to the Prem. I was always a big fan, even when he was on Newcastle, when you always say, he's better than the club that he's on. I think, he could be on a PSG again. He could be on a Real Madrid type of team. But I really like him being on one of these teams where he's just
He's the heartbeat.
And that's a great shout, Huss. Like I was actually the one who said like he's better than a Newcastle, and when they signed him from PSG, I was disappointed because I rate him as a player, and I thought instead of going to a Crystal Palace, why not go to a Liverpool or maybe an Arsenal? You know, especially because he's French, he could bond with Wenger. But you're right. I mean, this is the perfect club for him, and he's surrounded by athletes in the sense of Zaha and Bolasie, so he can pull the strings for them. Like, what a great signing by Alan Pardew and Crystal Palace, and what a great shout by you guys.
Yeah, it hurts players such as he on better teams because to be a playmaker, you need to have the ball at your feet. Now, if you're on a team with 8 playmakers, you don't have the ball at your feet. You can't be a playmaker, so you just kind of run around. You kind of feel awkward. You don't know your full situation. If you're on a team,
that's
like
a
Crystal
great
Palace,
point. That is a very great. It's almost like that Vardy thing that was saying is like maybe if he does go somewhere else, will he be that guy? He's number one where he is, and it's like the Kabay thing as well. He's number one where he is.
Exactly. People know. Oh, he's in the middle. We know that.
He's our guy to pull the strings. He's our magician, and that's the challenge, like you're saying, like trying to find your balance in the team, and it's perfect, dude. It's
instrumental.
I'm so happy for him, man. I love Kabay. I feel like he's one of those guys who goes under the radar because we're in an age where we're just blessed with so many talented players that if you're not creating highlight tapes or, you know, on YouTube doing elasticos, like people don't really, you know, recognize how much you do. Kind of like you said with Iniesta, like you don't focus on him because you're watching Messi and Ronaldinho highlights, but that guy is
so simple that it's
just clean, man.
It's
just
world class. It's another level.
Beautiful. Kabay, unbelievable.
If Kabay was 2 years younger, I could see him being bought by Barcelona, take over for Iniesta.
What a great shout. He could. He might even. I mean, I don't think he will because it's late in his career. But like, I wouldn't be that shocked if there were rumors of like Barcelona maybe looking at him to sort of pad the squad a bit. Like he's that type of silky smooth player.
Just touch. He's a Modric. I was always a big fan of Modric, and I always said that he is one of the most underrated players in the world. Same thing with Kabay. He's so underrated. I like the players that are a little bit smaller that actually have the skill to do it because they had to work so hard on their foot skills and their shiftiness because they're not blessed with a 6'2", 185, 195 filled with muscle body. You know, they really had to dig deep and really learn the game. That's why they're so much smarter. Yeah. And I like those players.
All positioning, anticipation, doing the early work, doing the hard work early.
You know, it's a team is one of those things that people, I think, forget sometimes. If you have to have a mixed balance. Yeah. If you're, let's say you're just making a cake. If you have too much flour, it's going to be bad. If you have too much sugar, it's going to be bad. You have to have
the perfect balance of ingredients.
You have to have the people that can do stuff with the ball. You have to have people that can run fast.
Like you said, Tom, Scott Dan. You know, a Scott Dan kind of player where like it's like just quiet. No one knows about him. But like if he leaves that team, next season the team struggles and you can't figure out why, and it's because you weren't focused on that guy who's sort of like behind the scene, quietly doing the work.
People, just the glue of the team.
And half the time we only see stuff the games. We don't see what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, the
in
training.
The locker room. We don't see who comes in first, who goes home last. We don't see the people that actually say hello to everyone. The people that are the joking around, keeping people at ease. People keep calm. The people that
get people in line.
Yeah. How about the teammates you have that you know you can always go to them? Let's say you need a ride somewhere. It's like, he's my boy. He's going to give me a ride. And that's chemistry right there. That's
translates onto the field.
Exactly. That's where you become not teammates, but brothers.
Yeah.
And those are the type of players that we don't know because we're not in the locker room. If they leave, sometimes it's just, man.
That's why I wish they were required to have like reality shows for every team, you know, like almost like a 30 for 30, just to see like
throwback dream team.
Yeah, like just to see the energy in that locker room. Like I'm interested to see how is Didier Drogba in the locker room, or how is Olivier Giroud. Like how are they in the training? Like are they divas or are they like hard working, like group blue collar kind of guys, and
all
they
I know
get the
is
perception?
Santi Cazorla's the man. Funny ass dude. Everybody loves him.
I'm just saying this for Liverpool because I watch a lot of this stuff. Lucas, People want him
Lucas
to be
Leiva.
They want him to be sold. They don't like him. He's more than just a player to them.
Yeah.
He talks with a lot of people. I feel like is almost like the older brother on that team now, being the central defensive mid.
Yeah.
Where he will hurt someone for you, I think.
Yeah.
And he is that presence where he's also goofing around and he's joking. Him and Henderson have a great relationship, I believe.
Well, he's the last of the remaining really like great Liverpool
era.
midfielders in this era. The Gerrard, Xabi Alonso, Mascherano, Lucas Leiva was around.
Yeah.
I mean, he was nowhere near the starting when those players were there, but he was still around to learn from them, and I think that tradition has sort of carried on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for you guys, man of the match, Hussey.
Even though Cabaye,
come on, man.
Yeah, it has to be Balassi. He was threatening. Anytime he had the ball at his foot, it's like, is he gonna score? I don't care if he's in his own box. Is he gonna score? All right.
He's just
you find yourself wanting him to shoot. Like,
he's powerful to do it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Balassi all around.
Love it. All right, so we're gonna quick touch the rest of Saturday's games. Kick it off. Norwich versus Everton, tied 1-1.
Norwich, Lukaku keeps it rolling. You had previously expressed your dislike for Lukaku's game, and sometimes he could be inconsistent, and even Bueno sometimes doesn't like him as an Everton fan. But I think this season he's really growing into his own. Everyone's starting to realize the potential he has, and he's making it look easy. He's scoring with his head, left foot, first time shots, doesn't matter. He's just getting it done.
Yeah, he's great, man. Like he's coming into his own this season, but either way, they failed to get the 3 points, and that's the story of Everton, man. Story of the Toffees. Defense. They just can't get over that hump, man.
So Houlihan was able to tie it in the 47th for Norwich. And Brady, I think, who's been having a really good season, caused a problem for them on the corner kick, and they were just kind of able to sneak it in. So another soft goal to concede. Yeah,
then we had Sunderland versus Watford. Watford gets the win away, 1-0. Igalo, dude, right?
All these strikers seem to be so dependable right now,
right?
I've had faith in him since September for fantasy.
Yeah,
he's been getting me some points.
You've been riding that guy like Vardy. I've been riding Vardy since day one.
I had Vardy halfway through.
Yeah,
I got him pretty.
And that's why you're kicking my ass, Vardy and Igalo. Can't stop those two.
And they had Aguero with them.
And Mahrez. Let's not forget Mahrez. He made him captain a couple of weeks, double points. Dude, he's killing it.
Absolutely. Aguero, when he scored like the 70 points with the 4 goals, 5 goals, whatever he had, he was my captain.
Jesus.
No, but he's absolutely, like you were saying, he was killing it.
He's on fire, man. And then the last game on Saturday, West Ham versus Stoke, 0-0 stalemate, which I figured it would be. These two teams are sort of, I feel like they're very evenly matched in the sense that they're threatening to be on the cusp. They're threatening to be a bubble team. They sort of have the players to be a bubble team, but they haven't played long enough together to be that bubble team. So I figured there'd be a bit of a stalemate, so it ends 0-0.
For me, West Ham, I think it's the same old story. They're good at the beginning of the season. They're actually great at the beginning of the season. That's why I thought maybe they have a chance. Right. But they're always good. And then comes January and December, and they lost and then lost. They're going to fall back down to the 8th place probably by the end of the season. And that's too bad, because it's one of those things where they don't have the depth, but at the same time, it happens every year.
Yeah.
Every year. They do so well. Weren't they like the third in the league, second in the league at one point?
Yeah, early they were like,
maybe like
second
a month
or third,
ago they were third in the league.
Yeah.
And now they're going to fall down to, 7th place by January? I mean, that's rough.
Yeah, and they're at 8th right now, so you'll as a West Ham fan, you'd want to move up closer.
Definitely.
Here's a little fun fact for you. West Ham had 24 shots.
Jesus.
24 shots.
All over them, huh? 10 on net, no goals. Just saying. There's something to be said for that. Yeah. All right, so that wraps it up for a quick touch Saturday games. On to Sunday, the early morning game. And what a game to be sort of eased into a Sunday morning. It's easy like a Sunday morning. It was. I hate Arsenal, but that was such a dude. I said it to my girlfriend. We're sitting on the couch, surrounded by her parents' beagles, sipping on a coffee, watching Arsenal play, and that uniform is sick, dude. That gold uniform. It looks it's so classy.
Right? Oh my god,
it's so classy. But just watching Ozil do his thing, watching Giroud making runs, watching Theo Walcott,
so silky. You just want to watch. Just enjoy it. Those dudes are like, I don't know, were they all like born in like cocoons?
Right,
and just bred from silk. I don't know. Is it like Egyptian cotton? I don't know what it is. But
dude, it's my two favorite teams in the world to watch when they're hot. Like just for like entertainment, like how beautiful the game is. Barcelona, Arsenal. And I'm a Man United fan. And I was a Man United fan in Fergie era. And we used to be fun, like we used to be a fun team to watch, but there's just something so pure about simple pass and move system that Wenger has adopted and that, historically Barcelona has played. It's beautiful, man, and I saw a taste of it this morning.
Man, and for me, as long as the defense remains solid and holds up, then we have a chance at winning the league. Right now, Arsenal's sitting number 1, and it feels good because we're soon approaching January, and it's been a long time since we've really kind of seen the possibility of winning a league and running away with it. But the transition from midfield to attack has just been beautiful. I think Aaron Ramsey has really just been waiting for his time to step back into that central midfield role, and he's stepping up.
What an inspiration Ramsey is, man. Like the amount of crap Wenger used to get about Ramsey and what he saw in Ramsey was unbelievable, dude. Everyone was like, Ramsey's the weakest link. Get rid of Ramsey. No point putting time in.
Everyone thought Jack Wilshere was going to be better.
Yeah, and you could say Jack Wilshere's better when he's healthy, but lately Ramsey has been...
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, the last couple of years, yeah, because Wilshere hasn't really played, so Ramsey has managed to develop. He basically had 2 years to develop over Wilshere. So, yeah, right now, no question. But, 2-3 years ago, you could say Wilshere was comfortably better. But either way, I'm happy for Ramsey, man. I'm happy for Wenger. Stuck by him. It's a beautiful thing to watch. See this team coming together.
The one thing I like about Arsenal, well, not the one, but one of the things I like when you're talking about the formation, they have a pay-it-forward system where people forget once you pass the ball, you have to move off the ball. If you move off the ball and get open, it makes it easier for your teammate. It's a paid-for system. If they move for you, you move for them. So you're always passing, always moving, making it easier for yourself, but you're also making it easier for your teammates. I think that's one thing people just forget about. You have to move when you don't have the ball.
It's so critical, and when you do that, typically when you do have the ball and there is pressure applied to you, you'll always have two options. So typically you'll have a way out. And that just makes it it raises the chances of breaking down a team and going on a counterattack. Because if you can zip 2-3 passes in between some defenders, you're off to the races.
You have to be able to count on your teammates. That's why I say it's the pay it forward, because if you do it, they do it. Think about all the teams that actually do move off the ball well.
Mm-mm.
They're all really good teams.
Mm.
There's so many times that it is just a kick and run or a pass and a walk. How many times have you seen someone just pass the ball and just kind of jog or walk or kind of just not really know what they're doing after
And it
that?
throws the rhythm off of the team. It's very important that teams have rhythm when they're playing. And the reason why my brother basically said he loves watching them play is because when you watch an Arsenal play, they're all in rhythm. They're all in the same line.
It's unbelievable.
It's telepathic almost.
Exactly.
They're all in the same page, and it's beautiful to watch. And I think it's very necessary in this speed for Arsenal to have speed. I love the inclusions of Theo Walcott on the left flank and Joel Campbell on the right flank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Around Giroud, because Giroud can flick the ball on. He can hold the ball up.
Yeah.
He has a great first touch off of the goal kicks, and he really draws fouls as well.
That's a lot of finishing ability.
It seems like every time he strikes, he scores. That's what it seems like.
How do you feel about Giroud, dude?
I love Giroud, right? Olivier!
Oh, jeez.
My boy, Olivier!
Between the three of them, though, that's three good players that can finish the ball. Yeah. And that's what I really like. Because I'm not sure, I think it was you, T, that over the weekend you texted us, I think, saying, oh, Walcott and Giroud is out there.
Yeah. Usually it's Giroud playing forward and then Walcott comes on, or Walcott playing forward, Giroud comes on. And Wenger, credit to him, man. He put them both out there and they both played well. That first, the second goal that Ramsey got, that through ball from Walcott was... Dude, Ozil didn't even have to touch it. Literally, Walcott played it perfect weight, perfect direction. Like literally, Walcott played it from inside his own half. Ozil didn't touch it until it hit the 18. Didn't touch it, just a little body feint to get the defender off balance. And my goodness,
the ball was so good. Ozil had the choice to shoot it or pass it.
Yeah,
that's how good that pass was. It wasn't like, I'm on my right foot, I have to shoot it. He didn't force him into any decision at all.
You just left it wide open, man. And who else better to leave wide open for decisions, Mr. Mesut Ozil,
the Silk Man himself,
dude. He's so much fun to watch, dude.
I'm looking forward to Arsenal games. I wonder, like, if it's silky as fuck, if my hand would just slip out
as you knock over your mic.
I have to bring
that was not silky.
I have to bring one point up about Ramsey that when you're talking about him for the second goal in the 37th minute, Ramsey gets a slide tackle around.
Wins the tackle.
Yeah, wins
just
the tackle.
outside.
He started
18.
the attack.
This is the epitome of the game. He starts the attack by getting the slide tackle. Goes to a teammate. He gets up. He starts running as hard as he can. It's a 4-on-4 at half. And then as they get to the about
just
3/4,
yeah,
just over it, it becomes a 3-on-1 because Villa just stops running.
Dude, Sanchez, the defensive midfielder, Sanchez, Colombian.
Yeah.
He just stopped running on that break.
Yeah.
He just sort of like ran into space, tried to follow a run. Like he was tracking back fine, and then he saw that ball played by Walcott, and he just gave up, dude. How does it go from a 4-on-4 at half, and then all of a sudden it's a
because the Holland midfielder gambled. Ramsey is always willing to put himself in goal scoring opportunities and in and around the box.
So Arsenal's holding midfielder gambled.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
If you look at a Francis Coquelin, he'd typically make the tackle and pass it off there.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be that additional number there. Maybe it'd be at the 18. It would have been
4-on-3 or
but
3-2.
that's the characteristic that Aaron Ramsey has to push on, and that's beautiful when you do have a truly defensive midfielder who can cover him.
Yeah.
But in this instance, he did it both.
Yeah.
He did it all.
I think that just is the loudest play of the game because it told you what Arsenal is and told you what Villa is. And Villa is just looking bad. If they could get the Prem could get rid of a team right now, it would be Villa. It's not because of their points, not because, you might be the lowest. It's because we just don't like you. You're just not good. It's like if you're having a party and there's okay, buddy, we don't have enough room for you anymore. It's the party's getting a little cramped. You gotta.
It's like you invited Villa. Why'd you invite Villa?
It's like, he's my cousin. Oh man,
dude, you guys are killing Villa right now. Poor Villa fans are burning this fucking podcast.
And they got a lot of history, man. They do. So respect them in that regard. But Alan Hutton, it's just a lack of discipline on the penalty kick. You get goal side of your man. I know he's fast, but
it's because it's scary. It's Theo Walcott. You're like, even if he gets like half a yard in front of you, you're panicking and grabbing him. There's no reason to grab him there.
It was just Theo a lack of discipline.
Exactly. He wasn't heading towards goal. Yes, his next touch was going to be towards goal, but he had no angle. So, yeah, maybe he would have laid it off, given up a goal, but it wasn't worth giving up a PK that early in the game.
And we all know that he made the right decision, and he's called a snake. When I'm talking about Fabian Delph, because he left Villa.
Yeah.
I know he didn't go about it the right way how he left.
Yeah.
But if he stays on this team, where are they? Do you think Villa is?
They're not struggling the way they are. They're struggling, but not.
Do you think he lifts them up and points fingers at their face that you do your job?
Yes.
So you're thinking 14th, 13th?
No, like 17, 16.
Okay.
Like still in trouble, but like Delph somehow manages to get him a tie here and there because you see him playing for City when he comes on, and he hasn't quite established himself yet, but you can see like this guy is a
energy
force
and a spark about him.
You notice that, oh shit, Delph is on the field.
Is it Delph they're missing more, or is it Villar?
Vlar? Vlar too. Vlar, he was on a free contract. They let him go as a free agent.
But the thing is,
they should have kept him.
No. They tried to sign him. He said no to the contract. He straight up said no. I believe.
Oh, he walked away.
I'm almost positive that he said no. I don't want to be on your team.
Yeah,
wow.
and
that's killing the team.
That's a telltale sign right there. And I think it's just one of those seasons for Villa where it's just unfortunate. But it's just not. It's not your season. It just looks like it's your turn to be relegated, and that's tough.
And the commentators were saying like the Prem signed a massive TV rights deal, and he basically said if there's a year you want to stay in the Prem, this is the year because the Prem is gonna make it rain next year with TV contracts.
Damn.
And it's already signed. Like, it's a done deal. It starts next year. I'm not 100% sure on the details. I'll do some research and get that info to you guys. But
Bye-bye, Chelsea.
Chelsea, well, they have
No
billions.
TV rights.
Sorry, I just coughed.
They have oil money, but either way, man. So, man of the match for this game. Tom, kick it off, Mr. Gooner.
I mean, Aaron Rambo Ramsey, as I call him, just because he's a warrior out there. He gets stuck in. He commits forward. He just throws his body on the line, and he really has the spirit of a captain, just to keep it going. But yeah, and he's coming back now. This is the second week where he's found. He's managed to get a goal. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. I think Ozil as well is just. He needs to be mentioned because he's raised his game to new heights.
Yeah, for me, as much as Ramsey played well, I think it's Walcott for me. You know, he just quietly got the job done, and he didn't play his favorite position, Giroud's position in striker. So it's like he gets the PK for that first goal, and he plays that basically hockey assist, a second assist to Ozil. You know, and that. Just that unsungness, you know, like, so he beats a defender with speed and then he beats a defender with a pass. Like, he's just showing quality, man, and he's slowly coming together. I didn't rate him for a long time. I always thought he did belong on the wings, leave him out on the wings, but he's starting to show he can do it on the wings. He can do it on foot. That's the word. Well, that's the saying. Put me in, coach. He's becoming that player. So for me, Walcott.
Well, you both mentioned the two people I was thinking of because I have to give the honorable mention to probably Walcott because right at the beginning of the game, he got the penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, he just worked hard, but I really like Ramsey. I do. He got the goal. He showed some defense. He showed some passes. He just really... He was the complete player for them, exactly. I feel like.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, player of the game for me, Ramsey.
Nice. All right, so we'll get into the second game of Sunday, 11 o'clock. Love it.
Yeah.
Poole versus Brom, dude. Poole versus West Brom. Poole tied 2-2, ended up 2-2. You could say they got a Divock Origi got a little lucky with that deflection. But
if we're gonna call Torres lucky, we gotta call this lucky as well.
I agree,
because a lot of Liverpool fans will bite in their fingernails towards the end of that.
How are your fingernails?
It was squeaky bum time.
How are your fingernails, Mr. Liverpool fan?
I bite my fingernails anyway, so I had none to bite. So no, it's one of those things where it's just frustrating because this almost looked like FIFA. Like I told you guys before, it looks like a video game. 28 shots.
Yeah.
Who has 28 shots? West Brom had 4. 28-4. Possession was 70-30. You could see it.
Yeah.
And Klopp said it at the end of the game. We'll get into it in a few minutes, but he talked about the long ball and the set plays. If they take away the set plays, this is a 2-0 game.
Yeah.
Also on the second goal, I think Lovren got an elbow in the back of the head. He was going to head the ball away. Just saying.
Hey, hit
the weight room. Box, man.
Yeah. Hit the weight room. I gotta say,
get an elbow in the back of the head.
Yeah. Do some neck exercises.
And it was right before he hurt his knee too. So I mean that he had a
dude, that tackle. I mean, I know we're jumping around all over the place, but that tackle on Lovren, dude, how that wasn't even called a foul.
Was it Gardner, right? Craig Gardner.
Dude, what a disgraceful tackle that was. There's a difference between going in hard and trying to leave a little bit in there, quote unquote. They call it leaving it a little bit in there. Is that like you win the ball, but you're sort of trying to hit the player as well, send a message, get a little damage, but you're not trying to injure him. You're just trying to give him a good hit, you know. And that was not that tackle, man. As soon as he won the ball, he raised his leg to knee height. Thank God, Lovren wasn't planted on that leg, you know,
because if he's planted or anything,
yeah, if he's planted, that leg is broken, dude, or that knee is destroyed, ACL torn. So
he still was hurt.
I'm gonna go a little deeper right now.
Yep.
On that play, who are the captain and assistant captain?
What do you mean? On Liverpool,
Henderson.
Yeah.
And you got Milner.
Yeah.
Who's the first person to Lovren?
I didn't see it.
Skrtel. Lovren,
his partner.
Lovren is hurt beyond belief. He is literally rocking back and forth.
Screaming.
Yes, and screaming. The first person to get over there is Skrtel. I mean, he might have been across the field. I don't know exactly where he was. There are other people around him, but Skrtel was the one that really sprinted over, calmed him down, actually really was with him. Not only that, but afterwards, Skrtel was right next to him. I know that they're teammates, and I know they're brothers because they're both center backs. But you see Henderson just walking around, kind of talking, and you see, I don't know where Milner is. I want to see the captain bring the team in. I want to see him talking to them in that time. Yeah. You're down 2-1. You're down 2-1 almost at the end of the game. 80 minutes?
No, it was like 68th minute or something.
Okay. Well, it's far enough into the game where you bring your team in, you talk to them, you tell them, this doesn't happen here. We get a goal. We have to type in the regulation, and this is going to be, I thought it was going to be like 6 minutes, 7 minutes stoppage. It was actually 8. You have to find at least one goal. Yeah. They got it lucky after deflection, but after 28 goals, one's bound to deflect.
28 shots after 28
shots. Sorry.
I don't know, man. I think I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one in terms of what you're saying about Henderson and him bringing the team in. I thought this was a game where he just kind of led by example. It's kind of fairy tale stuff, man. He comes back for his first game. He gets a goal. So he's almost in his own head, like buzzing, like, all right, I'm back. Like,
and the I gotta lead buzzing, like our leader's
exactly.
Back.
Like, but for me, I'm thinking he's more like, all right, I want to lead by example by doing it on the pitch, which he had done. I get your point in terms of being a vocal leader and sort of like rallying the troops, but in this respect, man, they pulled it out. But that's hindsight. But I still think that the fact that he was able to come out, score a goal on his return, inspired them, and I don't think it would be necessary for him to kind of bring him in like that.
Well, that's good, and I'm not saying do it all the time or anything. This is just because of circumstances where they were just like hanging out for like 10 minutes. Yeah. And people were just like kind of like moseying around, like kind of like just hanging out. Yeah, I don't want to see people just hanging out. Let's get focused on what's going to happen, because it's kind of like right after a goal, the other team that just scored the goal not really paying attention, and then the other team can right down.
Window.
So if you are actually really focused and your team really is focused, right after that play, the other team may be cold, maybe they weren't really warming up, maybe their muscles are tired now. You score within the next 3 minutes. It's a whole new game. It's tied, and then you have another 15, 20 minutes to score another goal. So I think that is where I need the captain to really be himself and be beyond a player.
But is that him being himself, though? Is that who he really is, that guy to do that? I don't know, man. I think there's different types of leadership.
Yeah, there's different ways of leading. There's the guy who makes the inspiring speech, who brings the team together, he's vocal, and then there's a guy who just plays. You know, he just inspires by his play. And then there are special guys like Gerrard who can do both. You know, and maybe that's why you're feeling like Henderson is not enough right now, you know, because a guy like Gerrard would have brought the
to me, he never was, to be honest.
Ooh, Henderson?
Yeah. To be honest, he never was.
He never was that type of player. He's just more inspired. Like, I'm going to play box to box. I'm going to win a sliding tackle, run the not win a sliding tackle. I'm going to, run the length of the field, basically, and, like, score goals. He's a proper box to box. I almost confused him with Aaron Ramsey. I think they're very similar style of plays.
Oh, please no.
Ramsey's better. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the style of play. I think it's interesting, man. Watching Henderson develop.
For me, it's not so much an inspiring speech. It's just keeping their focus, keeping the course. Just make sure that their eyes are on the prize.
Isn't that the manager's job?
Well, that is, but he's not on the field. And the next person.
But when there's a break and they're dilly-dallying around.
Well, next person after the manager is.
Yeah, of course.
So one of them, I feel like one of them had to step up and really. I just don't like the just like walking around, just like
I think
moseying around, because that's your time to strike when the other team is doing that. And then if you come out focused, if you train when the other team doesn't train, that's when you're gonna get better. If you're focused when the other team isn't, that's when you're gonna score. That's when they could have scored, I believe.
I think they were okay though. Like after that injury, they were still like all over them. So I think they switched on either way. I think they had instructions and they were so like bought into their game plan that like. They didn't need like a reminder. Everyone had already bought in. Everyone is already fired up. They've, like you said, 28 shots. Like they just knew what job had to be done. But I hear you. Like it would have been maybe if he had called him in and inspired him with a quick speech, just like, "Hey guys, focus." Maybe they would have scored 2 minutes after that injury. Who knows? So
honestly, yeah. To me, I think it might be like a cultural difference, because often I've seen this, coming up in America and playing throughout high school and club sports. When there is an injury, teams do huddle up, but often in professional sports in Europe and England, I've seen it rarely, but I don't know. Have you ever seen, like, after someone goes down, like, they all huddle up, including the goalie in professional sports? I've seen a couple people, but not like an entire team. So I think there may be like a cultural difference here as well.
Yeah, I've seen it here and there where Gerrard would pull players in or Roy Keane would, but you're right, it doesn't happen like often, you know. But maybe it would have helped in that situation.
Yeah, for that, because I did see Henderson walk around, clap his hands. You could see him mouthing some things, just walking around to each player. But that is just individualized. I think that to be the team, to be the family that you are, bring him in, get strong.
Yeah.
And just like I said, it's not going to happen all the time. It's just you're down 2-1 to a bad team. Well, not to a very good team. It's later in the game. That's when
you're at home.
Yeah, because if you're winning, that's fine. If the injury's not that bad, I understand. If the injury doesn't happen, you don't huddle. It's just all that mixed together. I think that was a time that you could have shown, I'm the captain, I'm the man, let's do this. We're a team. Let's go score that goal.
Touche. Now, I guess Divock Origi did not need that team talk because he was in his own head like, I'm going to be a FIFA character and do my own thing. Because as soon as he was on the field, man, he was
hungry, dude.
He's
constant threat.
He's confident right now.
Constant threat.
And the best part about that is that he could have chosen to go down from that tackle. I was literally yelling at the top of my lungs, get up after he got hit because you could see the shot was wide open. If he got up and played, the shot was wide open.
Instead of laying down for a 35-yard set piece.
Trying to wait for a set piece to try to win a header. He was like, no, I got momentum. Like you said, FIFA player, video game. He's like, if I get up, I get a shot off. He got up, got a shot off. 2-2. Wow.
Can't score if you don't shoot.
Exactly.
And the thing that Origi, whatever is Origi?
Hard G.
I think that, it is? I wasn't sure because the announcer said Origi too. But anyways, after the game, he was talking about what Klopp said to him. He basically said, you have to bring something to this team.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment that he was talking about.
That is something where not only did he have the confidence from scoring 3 goals, was it 3 goals?
He got a hat trick
a couple weeks ago. But not only that, but he really has to fight for a spot right now.
And he's responding, dude.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
He's young. He's getting a little bit more confident. You know, it's one of those transition points where he's only been here for a couple months. He's working with his moves. He's using his speed. He's getting shots. That's the most important part. Making sure that he shoots.
Yeah.
He's a striker. He shoots. I don't want to see him dilly-dallying, passing back to the defender. I want to see him working his way forward.
And to do it in the 96th minute, you could tell the absolute confidence and even the love that Klopp showed to him after the game, hugging him and really just...
Dude, Klopp, man, I'm so jealous.
It's all about the approach.
So jealous. That manager, he's Hussey,
fantastic.
You're about to have the best... I was telling my girlfriend, Liverpool's about to probably have the best 10 years of all time. You know, once
I think 8 because he stays at the team.
He's gonna do.
I think he'll stay there.
He's gonna instill the original pride of Liverpool.
Yeah, dude.
That's what he's gonna do. And that's the scariest thing.
And that shows with him after the game, grabbing all his players and making sure they go, thank the fans, and they're celebrating as if they won. And I was a little critical at first. I was like, you guys tied West Brom 2-2 at home, a game you guys should have comfortably won. You had possession, you had shots, you just didn't get it done, and that's the difference between winning a championship and not. But then afterwards, he basically criticized the team. He was like, we have to win these games. He criticized West Brom, especially, with the long ball system. But hey, welcome to the Prem. But I like that confidence. It's like as if he knew that he was going to criticize his team, or at least not criticize, but at least be like, that was a game we should have won. But he celebrates with the team in front of the fans, lifts the team up, and then he goes into a press conference and sort of takes shots at him. So it's like a balance.
Him, of course.
Exactly.
It's just man managing, psyche managing, all of that. He's managing the
fans. Like he's trying to inspire the fans to keep supporting. Because the fans could have easily been like, is Klopp's project not going to work? West Brom, struggling team, come in to Liverpool and they tie the game and we're celebrating. But he killed the media with that, like the post-match interview.
I don't think Klopp's project is going to work if Mingule is the goalkeeper long term. Okay. Honestly, I think he's a guy who
he's a good
goalie. I'm not gonna call him a fraud. It's too disrespectful. He's a good goalie. but he has those Barthez moments where you wonder, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
A couple of times in the game today, he was just out of his box, took a risky big touch trying to save a long ball.
That was the West Brom's first goal.
Yeah,
when he
first
came
goal,
out, tried to punch it out.
He flops on it, doesn't punch, is not effective enough, and that's the second time in a row in a week, the second week in a row, that I've seen this from him, and it's not good enough.
Yeah, and it's sad. I think the pressure's getting to him because he has the raw talent. Like you said, he's like a Barthez. He has the raw talent to be a premier goalie, but it's that mental edge. Does he have enough to show that game in, game out? And it was a very interesting point I heard from a commentator. He was saying, basically, when you play for these top 4 teams, it's not about, well, it is about your ability, but it's not so much about your ability and your shot stopping and your decisions.
Just don't mess up.
It's about being switched on, even if you get one shot on you a game. Being able to make that one save, because your team is good. They're going to have possession. They're going to control the game. You'll probably have 2 saves a game. 90 minutes, you're making a proper save twice. That's the difference between a De Gea, a Barthez, and a Mignolet, or Petr Cech, Thibaut Courtois. You know, I mean,
confidence
that's what
he instills in his defense. And look, Liverpool, actually they haven't been that bad in terms of conceding goals, but they have had a lot of bodies go down in the back line. So there's not a lot of continuity there. They're still trying to figure it out as it goes on with this new system. And I fear that, they may not be able to find that with Mignolet. What do you think, Hus?
He's inconsistent. Sometimes he looks like one of the best goalies in the world. Other times, it's just... What? Wait. Huh? What? Is that serious?
The rawest touch.
It's one of those things where who's better than him that they can get right now? I think he's a pretty good goalie for what they have. I don't think they can actually get a better goalie than him. Unless if they go for
I think they can.
I think you could go for like a Lloris. I think this is a perfect time to pluck Lloris out of there. Lloris is at Tottenham is becoming a premier goalie.
You think Tottenham would sell him to Liverpool?
I
think they're guys
inflated
out there,
amount of money
is what I'll say.
Yeah.
It may be difficult to bring in specific individuals because goalie's a little bit
January,
more
though?
Specified.
Summertime?
No, not in January. I'm not saying January. That'd be
summer.
to play.
Okay,
I'm saying long term.
Long term. I fully understand that. Yeah, there's people out there. I was talking about this season where I think you stay with Mignolet just for the fact that you don't want to disrupt the chemistry because you're trying. I think they have a legit shot at going Champions League top 4.
Well, with the way Tottenham lost.
Dude, I think they have a shot at the title. I'm sort of
everyone does kind of
exactly. I'm sort of stuttering saying that, but like the way they played today, man. Obviously, the result is unlucky, but like you said, 28 shots, 70% possession, and watching them play. Coutinho's back. Firmino looked a little promising today. You got Henderson bombing forward.
Benteke looked like he moved in slow motion.
Oh, Benteke.
I almost forgot to bring that point up. Benteke.
I've said,
done, dude.
Get
him out of that system.
He's the new Andy Carroll.
Bring Vardy into that system. Jamie Vardy into
Liverpool. He would be perfect.
I'm usually a person, except for Ibra, because he's a freak.
Yeah.
Usually anyone over the height of like 6'2" for me, I'm questioning.
As a forward?
As a forward, because I usually like shifty, fast.
Like a Suarez.
Something like that.
Slippery forward.
Exactly. Someone that can shoot and really plays. Benteke is always, I got the ball.
It takes him an hour to turn.
I'm going to pass. Oh, wait, I'm going to turn.
But it's weird because he'll do random smooth things.
And then remember the bicycle kick? And with
the right
foot. Oh, my God. That might be goal of the year.
So one against United,
He shows these flashes, and he has the strength to play in the league, but it's, I don't know. He's not quite
it's
technical.
That top 4 mentality. He's good forward. He's awesome, but is he a top 4 caliber forward? I think he's starting to show he's not. It's still, who knows? It could click for him. Klopp could figure out how to use him, how to get the best out of him. That's what Klopp's known for, because Lewandowski was a big forward, and Klopp basically made Lewandowski. I'm not saying Benteke is going to be Lewandowski. What I'm saying is Benteke is a similar build type forward. So maybe Klopp finds a way to sort of inspire Benteke, because I haven't seen Klopp and Benteke interacting too much.
Me too. I think he's got something waiting for him, and it's not good. I think he's
exactly. I think he sees someone else. Yeah, I think he sees Origi as good. I think obviously Sturridge, he sees him as good. I think Benteke's I think this is one of the guys I'm gonna let go in the
Ricky
summer.
Lambert-ish, almost.
Yeah, he's not fitting in that system. He's just not.
Chelsea will take him.
He's also not hitting his shots. He's not hitting his shots. That's the big thing. Yeah. You think about Arsenal. Liverpool really could have won that game if he just hit the ball 1 foot forward. Yeah. But I mean, true, that was a great save by Czech. But at the same time, it's a foot kicking a ball against a hand.
Yeah.
So flip it up. It's anything. Just put it in the net. I don't care how you do it. Be like a Vardy. Be dirty. Claw and just bite not bite because we already had that. Wrong words.
Well, shout out, a call back.
But do anything you can to get that goal. That's the big thing.
I do think, though, you do have to give credit to West Brom's defense. They were able to step up and really shut him down. They were a physical bunch. Mm-hmm. That's his game. He's a physical forward who looks to take advantage of that. And with Olsen, the way he was playing, I don't think anyone was going to be able to out-physical him today.
I have two things real quick. Olsen, Myhill, game of the season, kind of maybe. Kind of like with
Olsen scores 2 goals today.
Yeah.
One of them didn't count.
Chris Brunt set piece. I'm telling you, Chris Brunt has really, really great delivery.
Yeah, it's the same thing that United went through with Bournemouth. They just played. They just played really well. And now we're seeing that the smaller tier teams aren't afraid as big tier teams
it's
anymore.
Beautiful.
And they're not afraid.
Dude.
They're fearless. And that's
the beauty of this league.
Yeah. But I really want to get into what Klopp said. He called out Pulis. And these... what I'm
Tony
saying
Pulis is the manager of West Brom.
And remember how we used to talk about Jose Mourinho, and he would always have these clips of what he said, and they're so powerful. Klopp has that. And that's the thing that people forget, where he was always talking about, I'm the normal... Well, he wasn't. He said it once. I'm the normal one. That was a big statement. Mm-hmm. And everything he says is pretty...
All these sound bites.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and today,
we'll Instagram that out. We'll throw it on our Twitter, too, for you guys to check out.
And today, he goes to talking about, there's games that you win, there's games that you lose. I'm okay with losing, but this is not a game we lose with long ball and set pieces. We don't lose that way.
No more.
Not here. No more.
That means he's buying Subotic. That means he's bringing in Subotic from Dortmund.
Hummels. Lovren might be... we don't know the injury. It could be done for the season. It could be done for a week. We don't know.
Yeah. It could be just a cut. It could be kneecap damage.
So if he's done for 2 months, I think he comes in no matter what.
Subotic?
Yeah. That's
in
his guy.
In the January transfer window.
Or at least someone comes in for defensive reasons.
Yeah, because Sakho's hurt too.
That's what I'm saying. The back line is really injured.
Well, Sakho is going to be hurt 3 more times this year too. But
yeah, he is a little weak. Tin Man.
Oh my God, he's going to come back for a week. Wait, he and Sturridge brothers, do they have the same family line?
All right. They're both always hurt.
But it's,
overall, though, Hussey, who did you think was your man of the match?
Overall, it has to be Olsen. Easily Olsen.
Yeah. Yeah, for me as well. I'll back that up. Olsen played really well. Showed heart, scored 2 goals. One of them didn't count. But he absolutely played well today for West Brom.
Same with me. Likewise, Olsen, man. He was a savage.
All right, so quick touch for Sunday's game. The other Sunday game, Spurs versus Newcastle, dude. Spurs drops points. Newcastle wins 2-1. What was it, 93rd minute? Perez.
Spurs choked again, God, like dude. They always do.
It's like they have the Everton syndrome, where it's like they're on the bubble. They have the pieces to challenge for a top 4, but they drop games like that. Newcastle is a team basically on its way down, and somehow they drop points to them in the 93rd minute. Even if it was tied, disappointing result, but you got a point. It was a hard-earned point. Newcastle came out to play. They actually showed fire for once, and
2 in a row. 2 in a row for Newcastle. Right. They haven't been able to do that in a long time, and they can be proud of that. So this might change.
Army.
Yeah, this might change the morale in the season. Just 3 points. Silver lining for Newcastle, for Spurs. Eric Dyer, he can score goals.
Yep.
Second point, Mitrovic for Newcastle, really good forward. Last point, Ayoze Perez. You got a goal too. Another good playmaker.
I'm just happy that Newcastle's above Chelsea.
That's a great point. Newcastle's in 15th, Chelsea's 16th.
Chelsea
2 points off relegation. Two positions off relegation.
Yeah, Chelsea has a legit chance going to relegation by January 1st.
Dude, who are they playing next 3 games?
So the next 4, because we have Leicester coming up on Monday.
Tomorrow, yes.
So that's going to be a hard, not 3 points, but that's going to be a hard point to get.
Yes.
People forget Leicester.
And it's at Leicester, too.
And before the show, you were saying, imagine if Leicester find a way to beat Chelsea. No, I think it's the other way around. I think Chelsea has to find a way to beat Leicester because we have to show respect to Leicester. What I was saying was the second in league right now? Third in league because they haven't had the last game.
And Chelsea concedes goals.
Chelsea is 2 points off relegation. Chelsea is sitting 1 point. Sorry, 1 point. Chelsea's sitting on 15 points. Norwich is in relegation on 14 points.
And now that after Leicester, next week they're going to have Sunderland and Watford and United. And then it's the new year.
Chelsea United, that's a big
we should
snooze fest.
We should podcast that live.
Yeah,
we'll podcast live.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Watch
we'll make
game.
sure that Farid's there wearing his Mata
Chelsea
jersey.
Blues. I'll have my Herrera Reds.
But it's like one of those things where Sunderland, they are not so much in form, but they're going to be a hard game to win. They're like a Stoke. I feel like they just... Yeah, I'll punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
But it's just, they might be beat up after Watford with Deeney and Gallo. They might actually get another 1 or 2 goals just slipping it in right there.
Yeah. So that being said, let's get into that game. Let's get into that preview of Leicester versus Chelsea. But really quick, so basically, Spurs drops points. It's so annoying because I have a soft spot for Spurs.
I love it, Spurs. Keep it up.
Yeah, I know you hate Spurs. London rivalry. But yeah, so Leicester tomorrow, Monday, or today, Monday, depending when you're listening, plays Chelsea, dude. What a tricky game for Chelsea, and what a tricky time for it to come.
For me, I just love this because if Leicester wins, I want Leicester up there just because I think it's a good story. If they win, that means Chelsea loses. So they're further down. So this is just like the perfect situation. Dude, if Leicester wins.
If Leicester wins, they go to first again, 2 points clear. Like, are you kidding me?
I need Chelsea to win this.
Oh, God, don't tell me you're nervous.
As an Arsenal
don't
fan,
tell me you're scared of
riding
Leicester,
high
dude.
right now. Yeah,
you're scared of Leicester. Ah, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I think in May we've been like, it's kind of like West Ham. Like Leicester, you survived a long time in that top 4, but Vardy got hurt, Mahrez got hurt. Sorry, guys, you're back to like 7th.
See, I'd rather see them lose points than get injured, obviously. But I don't.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think Leicester doesn't have depth, so I'm not threatened by them because they're 1 injury away from like basically tanking their season. But in my opinion,
hypothetical, Barcelona comes to Leicester. Mahrez.
Barcelona.
Let's just say Mahrez for Barcelona. Let's say 40 million. Does Leicester sell?
Yeah.
But
I don't think they have a choice. I think Mahrez says, let me go.
But if they make Champions League, they make, 60 million?
It's trickier, but if Barca comes knocking, you go.
Well, yeah.
So that. But like, if Tottenham came over, or Liverpool came, then maybe, and Leicester's in Champions League, then maybe Leicester can hold on. Probably not, but...
I hope they stay.
I hope so, dude. It would be beautiful to keep them together. I just don't think Mahrez is as bought in as Vardy. Vardy's like an English boy, blue collar. Mahrez is like, pretty boy. He works hard, but like Mahrez wants to be in Spain.
Has a nice shaved beard.
Playing next to, like he's like a pretty boy, He doesn't want to be in fucking Leicester. Like, I think he's thinking more like
meat
Spain.
pies over there.
Exactly. You want meat pies or you want tapas, dude? You tell me, dude. Pretty easy decision. Better weather, arguably better women. Who knows? I think if a Spanish team comes knocking for Mahrez, or even a top 4 team, Chelsea comes knocking, City comes knocking, Arsenal, United, Liverpool. I don't know. I think he goes, man. I don't think he's as bought into the Foxes.
What if someone comes knocking for Eden Hazard? Because the way the season is going, has he scored a goal yet?
No goals in the Prem. I think he scored in either FA Cup or Capital, but
not in the Premier
Champs League,
not in the league,
not in the Prem, 0 in the Prem, and he goes from being Player of the Year last year,
which was my point. You go from being Player of the Year, you go from first to worst, essentially, is what this is. And Mourinho is the pressure is growing. I know I've been adamant about him staying and riding it out long term. I'm hanging in there right now. It's tough.
But it's tough, yeah.
It's tough, man.
You're starting to lose your grip a little bit,
Because now you're playing Leicester City and you're conceding goals every other week. You have the forward who's the hottest forward in the land, followed by one of the most creative players as well. What are you going to do, defense? What are you going to do, Chelsea's defense? Are you going to be able to stand up against that front? They seem like they're kind of finding their rhythm, but I don't know.
I think Vardy's just going to run right by Cahill or Terry or whoever's starting. I think he's literally just going to run by them.
But you have Kurt Zuma back there for Chelsea, who's a very athletic, strong, fast defender. Mentally, maybe he's not.
I think he's going to break
world class.
I think he's going to run down the line and break in through a hole, get a through ball, and hopefully be one-on-one with.
Exactly. I think Vardy's key is not being able to beat you one-on-one with speed. It's his movement, and I don't think Chelsea defense will have the mental, like, not that they can't keep up with him, but like the mental concentration to keep up with Vardy for 90 minutes, because his movement is his bread and butter. Like, it's not him dribbling by players. Every time he scores, it's like he makes a run, they play him through, takes a touch, shoots, scores. Like, it's so automatic. Relentless. Just copy, paste.
So this might be a Courtois game then.
Exactly.
This might be the first time we see Courtois really, his importance to Chelsea.
Yeah. One thing I like about Vardy that's just huge, I think. One thing I always try to express is running through the holes. Looking for the holes, running through that.
Yeah.
Just run there and get a through ball. Just go.
Yeah, and he's very good at finding that space, those holes.
There's so many times that forwards will just stop running or just will pass it off or pass it back or look to the side. Just run, and just if you run by the defense or on the line and have a nice pass through ball, what Vardy has been doing for all those games that he had all those goals, you're one-on-one with the goalie.
Yeah, every time. You don't have the speed to, like, the defense is not going to catch you.
Exactly. Oh, God, no. He has a breakaway speed for sure.
And that's why I think Vardy...
He's going to be the key.
I think he's going to have one. This might be another...
You want to do predictions?
All right. That being said, let's finish this up with some predictions. So, go ahead, House.
I'm thinking 2-1. I'm thinking Vardy and Amaras.
Oh, wow.
And I think Willian for Chelsea. I know I'm picking all three hot players for the teams, but I just think...
Dude, that's your shout.
I mean, Willian scored last week too, so I mean, he's always scoring, so I think it's going to be one of those.
Tom?
I think Chelsea's going to upset Leicester.
Score.
1-0. I think Courtois is going to have a tremendous game. I don't know how Chelsea's going to score. It might be really lucky. It might be from a counterattack. Might be from skillful build-up play.
Is this where they change? Is this where they turn the corner and go?
Nope. They're still gonna be sputtering. They're still gonna be inconsistent. But I do think that this is just a game in a season where they beat a good team, a team that's in form, and maybe it is that ignition to get them going. But I don't think it will be.
For me, 1-1 game, balanced. I think Chelsea, again, shows their sputter. I think Leicester will be the better team on the day, especially because Chelsea's struggling now. I think Mourinho's going to come in with a very tight formation. Not necessarily defensive, but very well organized, very well drilled. So I think they'll frustrate Leicester, but Leicester will find a breakthrough. But at the end of the day, I think Chelsea has quality to sort of claw back. So 1-1.
Is a tie for Leicester considered a win?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Big time.
100%. Whether they were 16th or 1st in the league, a point against Chelsea being Leicester is 3 points for them.
I don't know if they're past that now, saying we have to win.
Dude, let's not get carried away. Leicester is I would say is probably the quiet favorite, not big favorite, but I think it's a toss-up, put it that way, which means Leicester, quote-unquote, is a favorite.
I think the winner's going to have just one goal. Well, I'd say one more goal. It's not going to be like a 3-1. It's not going to be 4-1.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
A 1-0 or a 2-1. Something really close,
Yeah, I think stalemate. But anyway, that being said, so that wraps it up.
I actually hope that Chelsea scores at the end, just like Everton, and they come back.
Dude, that'd be so sick.
Farid would jump out the window.
Yeah, no, Farid would be dead. We'd have to rush over to his house, help him out, make sure he's safe. Yeah.
Are you okay? Get the razor blades out.
All right, so that wraps it up for us. PFC number 9 in the books. Guys, it's been fantastic. Fantastic weekend of football. We're going to be coming back in a couple of days for, again, like we said, the Champions League preview, the round of 16 preview, sort of our opinions on the juicy matchups.
Can't
who's
wait
gonna
to see these
through.
draws.
It's gonna be amazing, dude. I'll be at work, unfortunately, but I'll have my laptop open.
It's great. Arsenal, qualified onto the next round, and Man United just was not able to qualify.
Let's not even touch
sipping on Europa champagne.
Let's not even touch. Dude, the Europa League. I'm so offended. I'm so offended.
Go for it.
Welcome.
I don't even want to compete. I just think we should just forfeit. Like, we're better than
you guys are going to crash and burn out, too.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't want to compete. Like, we're going to lose to, like, some Uzbeki team or something, you know? Like, we're so bad, dude. Uzbekistan is just going to destroy. Dude, I don't know. I'm lost for words, but I still love United through and through, guys. As much as I'm frustrated, like, always support United. I might criticize them, but I live and die by this team all day, every day. That being said, I'm Tiki. Glory, glory.
Good news, Goons. I just want to say Goons.
All right, go ahead. Dude, don't worry.
Goons are killing it. Let's keep killing it, and let's purchase people in January. Mr. Wenger, if you're listening.
Wenger definitely listens to our podcast.
Purchase players in January.
He doesn't purchase anything. Why would he purchase this?
Exactly.
It's necessary.
We'll sell it to him for $1. He might take it then. And this is Hussey.
All right, guys. See you next week. Add Podcast FC Show on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. PodcastFC Show at gmail.com if you need to hit us up. We'll see you guys next week.
Wenger is listening.